all of the factors that people consider when they talk about wanting to be married are all factors that we lived and are traumatized by a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome to the Co-Life. We have brought our amazing friends with us. This is Orlando Bailey, and y'all know Janae. She's been on my channel multiple times.
Oh, your channel.
Hello. On our channel. We're going to put all of their links below. If you guys want to share anything about yourselves, who you are, we'll start with Orlando.
Oh, wow. I was going to defer to the lady because my mama raised me right.
Bet.
My name is Janae. Not a problem. Okay. My name is Janae. I also go by Nate Too Curly. I am a full-time influencer, so I'm on YouTube as well as I have a clothing brand called Nate Too Curly Apparel, and I just, let the Lord won't take it back. All that good stuff.
Let the Lord will take it back. My name is Orlando Bailey. I am a full-time journalist. I work for a news publication in Detroit called BridgeDetroit. I also moonlight as many other things, the Detroit host of Urban Consulate, a network of parlors where we can meet people to have critical conversations about cities. I am the founder and co-host of Authentically Detroit podcast. You need to check us out. I also serve at Mountaintop Ministries International as an associate minister, and I'm a brother, son, cousin, all of the things.
Yes.
And I am a contributor to American Black Journal on Detroit Public Television.
And that's on period.
Wow. Well, I feel like I'm not doing anything with my life.
I'm like,
I just love the Lord and try to be a good husband and father. We are constantly asked questions about how to do singleness well and, asking for advice. And we have opinions on singleness, but it's been a while.
It's been a while
since we've been single. So we felt it would be more appropriate than just putting our opinions out there to actually bring in people who are doing single well and hearing from them and sharing their experiences and letting you all learn from that. Again, we'll comment, we'll give some of our thoughts, but let's open it up. Before we do anything, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, ours and theirs, and hit us up on Instagram @_the_co-life_.
Yes. I just want to have an opening statement here. How do you feel about singleness? Because what I've been hearing, I was going to say it, is that singleness is ghetto. Is it ghetto right now?
Was it singleness or dating?
Like both. It's both.
Singleness or dating?
Both. I've heard both.
Okay.
Is it both? Which one is it? Singleness bad or is it the dating part?
I think it's the dating part. I'm okay with being single. It's the dating part when you finally try to open yourself up to somebody and you're like, you know what? I'm about to go back. I'm about to go back in my little corner and live my life without you. So I think that's the part where just trying to make sure you bring in the right person or connect with the right person. And sometimes it ain't right now.
No, I would definitely agree. It's the dating part sometimes, especially in a city like Detroit. This city is 139 square miles, but it's tiny. You have to be selective. You got to be careful, and so that piece could be frustrating. But no, I have enjoyed my singleness and am enjoying my singleness. It's not a sentence; it's a privilege.
Ooh,
yeah.
He was like,
wow. It's not a single.
Reminder. That's what it is.
Right.
So you said you're enjoying your singleness. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah.
What does enjoying my singleness mean to you as a person, your experience, your lifestyle? What type of dynamics are we talking about?
I think the main thing for me is, growing up and recognizing how I show up, not only to the world, but to those I'm in relationship with, my family and things like that. So I'm hyper aware of my actions. I'm hyper aware of how I come off. And I think having that heightened sense of awareness, number one, does me good in every facet and area of my life, all the intersections that I mentioned earlier. But I think it will also serve me well when I'm in, a full-blown relationship and in marriage. You gotta be aware of how we show up, gotta be aware of how we come off, how we emote, right? Because that's huge. So I've enjoyed the journey of learning myself.
So I'm enjoying my singleness, but sometimes when people ask you that, it's like it's at that time, right? It's certain moments of my singleness where I'm like, oh, I'm thriving, I got this. And then it's some moments where I'm just like, where he at? Where is he? Call me. I'm here, always been here. You have all the right to understand yourself, learn yourself, and step up to the plate when it comes to your singleness, so that when you're dating, you're not just taking anything, or you're not just pushing out anything too on someone else. So I'm enjoying it because I'm learning a lot about myself.
I feel that I hear there's more women that are out here good women that are out here trying to date than there are good single men out here.
Okay.
I'm a good single man, so I can't speak for, people who are outside of my niche group. But I think because of how the world is, men are outnumbered by women. So there's probably always going to be more women out single than, there are guys. And then you add the layer of Christianity. You add the layer of, other preferences. Like, I want a black woman, you know what I mean? It's like, I want somebody like my mama, you know what I mean? I don't want my mama, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there is,
that's real.
I just cut all my chances in half. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You about to be in the
bunch of multi-ethnic women out here that just
you about to be in the comment.
If you think about it, he can like me, but if I don't like him, it has to be mutual. So like a lot of guys are also dealing with a lot of rejection, as well as even though I think that they have a pool, they don't, because I can still reject him.
We got a lot of good men and women who are walking around with a wall of rejection, like this wall that people will have to scale because they've been rejected. And we don't know as a society, millennials, Generation Z, how to take rejection. My mentor said to me, he was like, there may be someone, he was checking me for real. He was like, there may be someone willing to scale this wall that you have up, right? And they may deem you worth it to scale the wall to get to your vulnerability, right? But how are they going to feel once they are on the other side of that wall after exercising all of that strength, right? All of that, what it took to get to the other side of the wall. So they on the other side, and now you got me vulnerable, but now you pissed because you tired, your muscles hurt, and now you resent. Now there's this resentment, right? And so the scripture says what? Count up the cost. And so if you are going to pursue an assignment, if you're going to pursue scaling this wall that some folks have up, be certain that you can finish that assignment and still be good.
Everything went.
I find that women, they are willing to go through the layers for a man, compared to a guy. I feel like talk on, but like I feel like it's a totally different. Like women, we accept what he has quicker and whatnot. So when you ask that question, I'm like, well, sometimes you have women that's just willing to like dive deeper, try to understand the guy. But that when he mentioned the wall thing, that's why I agree with him. When you have that wall part, I feel like it's also on them to want to do it. So I can feel like I'm willing to give my all to this person, but if he has to also, I can get up there but he also has to open up to me at some point. And I think you get to a point where it's just like, okay, I did my part, nothing has changed, but then you get deeper where like you stay in something, you like, okay, you see no change, but you decided to stay. And so that's a whole nother topic.
That is.
That's a whole other video.
I want people to start, even for me, to start praying first when people come around. And that's even friendship and anything like that, for discernment.
But we really don't be wanting to know the answer.
Because I don't want to know the answer.
Sometimes you know the answer.
Don't confirm this.
I just want to ask you, like, see what's going on.
He's beautiful. I don't want to confirm. Like, I'll figure it out. And so I think that's the number one thing. We're coming from the Christian side of things. We do not want to pray first. And so we end up staying in something, hoping that, after I went through all the layers and I climbed up to the top, that he accepts me. And sometimes they don't.
So do you guys feel that as a whole, society looks down on singleness past like a certain age? Do you think it becomes a negative thing that you're single in 30s, let's say? Or do you think it's fully acceptable and people are actually okay with it?
I would definitely say that we just have a different mindset right now where we just are grinding and hustling. And so we are like, if marriage happens, it happens. If it doesn't,
Do you think that the older generation in general, not just your family, do you think the older generation has a different mindset?
Yeah, I think it's generational differences. You know what I'm saying? I think so for some millennials, we came of age on the brink of an economic recession, right? For those of us in the city of Detroit, we graduated and came home to a bankrupt Detroit. Right. So there are all of these societal factors and economic pressures that didn't exist before, and inflation, where we are making probably the same amount that our parents were making, but it doesn't go as far. Right. Mm-hmm. And so we are staying home with our parents longer. Yeah. We're not purchasing homes and things like that. All of the factors that people consider when they talk about wanting to be married are all factors that we lived and are traumatized by a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I want to talk about. Like, how do you handle that, and how do you feel confident in knowing that, which you kind of answered, there's a difference in our generation, that we are doing things differently, and that's okay. Like, we don't have to.
We're doing things differently because we have to. And so anybody who has a critique for our generation, you also have to critique the generation that raised us. Mm-hmm. Right?
That's been my opinion and thought for a very long time.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that our parents did everything wrong, but the economy and things that we inherited and the expectation not shifting with what we inherited is unfair, right? The other piece is I feel badly for women. I think women have it worse, especially when women are in their 30s, because I can shoot up the club up until I'm 50 and 60 and have kids with if I should be with a younger woman, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But 40, past 36 or 37, your pregnancy is high risk. And so there is, I can't not believe that there isn't pressure on a woman to, figure out what she's going to do when she hits 30.
A lot of people, especially that I feel Christians, have a list or a criteria for the person they're looking for. So my question to you, because it's been a while since we've been single, do you as single Christian people have a list? And how closely, when you're evaluating someone to be a potential partner, do you adhere to that list?
For me, you gotta love God more than you love me. You know what I'm saying? I want my partner to have a curiosity about the world, because I'm forever its student. You know what I mean? I would love to share that, and literally, and everything else is up for grabs. To have love on reserve. You know what I'm saying? Love that you haven't tapped into yet. Love for a husband, love for a child that, some women have not had the opportunity to express. I think that's dope. You know what I mean? I think a woman in her femininity, like real feminine, we got so many bosses now, and that's cool. Women, you do what you gotta do to climb that ladder. But I still like a woman that's sweet. You know what I'm saying? A little coy. Especially when I hit 30, I opened it up a lot. I probably did have a whole bunch of preferences, but but now, if you got a kid, let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm old enough now. Like, there's a possibility that I could meet somebody with a child. All right, let's see where that goes. Yeah. You cute. I want you to be cute to me.
Yeah. All right. When I was a kid, I had a list, which the crazy part is, that's what they had us do in church, just that, so we won't be just talking to anybody. They really kind of pushed that senior year of high school.
They actually made you put a list together.
No, they talk about it, especially at work. We talk about it just.
And so kind of having us have that mindset of just not letting anybody talk to you, because when you go to college, that's all off sometimes. And so trying to go back to that list, crazy. You talking about like that. I didn't bring my list to college. And so, y'all can already put two and two together with that. But I would definitely say I did not have a list after that. I lost that list, didn't even know what that list said. And I didn't get a list or write out a list until last year or 2019-ish. I did not have one. Because I was like, I'm not about to be deep. I don't want to be too detailed. I don't want to hold myself back from just, if a guy's kind of different. And what I found though is that then I just let anybody come in. So I said, okay, wait a minute, we need to narrow this down again, Janae. Hold on, we done forgot. Now we too loose. And so I did make a list, and it's definitely long. So I'm gonna hold you up. I have a list that everybody be like, oh, good job, Janae. Then I have a list that's real specific. Taller than me.
Orlando's like,
nice teeth. Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna say. So I have that list, and then I have another list where I'm just like, okay, you know, love guys.
It's the one that we don't want to talk about.
Oh my gosh, I love that. But on the other side, like, but when you dress well, I'm not at the point where I want to dress you again. So it's like,
so is that okay though? Like, is it okay to have some of those just straight up like
specificity matters?
Yeah,
because I don't care what.
But you just said overall.
For me, I'm saying for me, but what works for me works for me. But a lot of people need specificity.
But you would be okay. Like for instance, like when it comes to clothing or the way somebody dresses, does that matter to you?
It does.
But you didn't mention it.
It wasn't on the list.
Because it wasn't on the list.
Because it's not the thing that's top of mind for me, right? Because all of that can shift and change, right? That stuff is superficial.
But you care. But you do care about
this. I'm a married man. It matters to me.
Attraction. No, I'm a man. Attraction matters. I said earlier that I wanted her to be cute.
I mean, clothing too.
But some things, though, is that important in the very beginning? Some things could change. Am I willing? Janae not willing to dress nobody. I'm willing to dress a female. Okay, I have to.
I already did that.
I always wondered, like, why I had a list at such a young age, but I think my dad was that person that was a reminder for me that kind of kept that like, hey, let's go back.
You probably did have I know your daddy. You probably did have a list.
Yeah, I did. And my dad was like, you know, he didn't know all the stuff that was happening in my life. Even when me and Brian were dating or whatever, he was like, you know, you have a list. Make sure you know the type of man that you want. And that has been a constant reminder in my life. So even, you know, times where everybody wasn't perfect, it was something that was a constant reminder, and it was in the back of my head, even though I wasn't thinking it.
Okay, so Aza has refused to take her second nap. So she's here with us to answer the final question. Aza wants to know a good story as to why you decided to stop pursuing someone.
We was trying to make it work. We was trying to figure it out, and I told him, you know, if we're gonna talk, like, I would like to go, you know, out. Like, I wanna go on a date. I wanna do all these things, right? And he was like, a date? And I said, for some reason, when I said that, he didn't know what a date meant. He's like, so you really wanna go outside and like
see the world?
Take you out? And I was like, the fact that this is confusing you is a problem. So he also went off on me. He told me, like, you gonna lose the best thing you ever had. And I was like, wow, I thought that was just in the movies. Like, I never ever heard somebody tell me that. And so I was like, the best thing I ever had. I said, dude, look at me. I look good. And so we had those back and forths, but that was the time where I had to like kind of wake back up and say, let him go, especially because, as I mentioned, we were off and on for so many years. We got comfortable, and I never required anything from him. And so when I required it, that gave me my real answer of where we could really go. And so I decided that I was all set.
You know, I think about college. College was like the time in my life where I was in like so many different situations at different points. And, you know, it could have been anything. You didn't know how to cook, or, you know, you didn't.
That's on the list. You
gotta this was 19.
I'm hearing more on the list.
You know what I'm saying? This list is longer than we thought.
You know what I mean?
What is one advice you would give to people that are struggling in their singleness? What would you say?
If you're struggling in your singleness, just remember singleness is not a sentence, it's a privilege.
Amen.
That's good.
This one is probably very common to say, but stop compromising.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, thank you guys. You are very eloquent and very well spoken, very thoughtful in how you approach life. And so it's a pleasure to have you guys on here and giving wisdom and sharing your experience and your knowledge to our people. So thank you. This is great.
Yes, we're gonna put all of their stuff down, so check them out. We love you guys, and let us know what you think of all of these, you know, stories and just advice and words of wisdom. Tell us what you think down below. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.